Hi guys, Papa K here. How you doing? Hope you're all well. Look at that! Yeah. K Vapes hat. Yes. Let's kick some butts. Thank you. Yeah, I got that for K Vape. Right. Review for you today. Hardware. With a quick toot on the Tug Life tugboat. Lovely. Also available from K Vape for $39.99, and that includes the dripper, the device, and your vape socks, vape socks. Yeah. But today, what we're going to look at, yes, this is also available from K Vape. It works out at $25.99, and we're going to take a look at the new UD Bellus. Yes, this is the new UD Bellus. Apparently, it's a tank system with a dripper flavour. Yeah, okay. We'll see. 100% no leak design, side airflow intake, 32 holes, 16 on each side. No, it's not. It's one. Well, it's two holes, but I'll show you in the close-up. Top filling design and 5 mils. Yes. So this is the Bellus. Comes with a scratch and sniff stuff from UD. Yep. So apparently, a lot of people that have been vaping the UD Zephyrus, which I have as well. Now the reason I haven't done a review for the UD Zephyrus is because I've had major problems with the rebuildable deck. The coil heads that you can buy for the Zephyrus work no problem at all, but the rebuildable deck itself, it's a bit of a pig. So I'm jumping straight to the Bellus because apparently people that have been vaping using the Zephyrus are now switching to the Bellus because it's much easier to build on. Apparently. I just received this today. So we're going to attempt a first ever build. We'll look at it, open the box, have a look at it, and I'm going to use some of this. This is Flatwire UK 24 gauge flat Cantha wire. I got this from Daniel Littleworth. I've been using it in my tugboat. Got a dual build in there with the zoom this in. Zoom in. Get in there. There you go. Yeah, I've been using it in the tugboat and it's really nice. It's a lovely, lovely wire. Because it's flat, more surface area, flavour's brilliant, vapour production's brilliant. So I'm hoping that in the Bellus it'll be exactly the same. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to do a single build in the Bellus because you can do a dual coil or single coil. Very much similar to the Goblin Mini. It comes with a section you can put in to turn it into a single coil. Because the 24 gauge flat wire at 8 wraps comes out about 0.45. So yeah, we'll do a single coil and just see how we go. Okay guys, so down to the close up, let's have a look and see you shortly. Okay, bye. Alright guys, here we have the UD Bellus. Yep, there we go, Bellus. Let's have a look at the back. What we got? We've got the Bellus RTA tank system, dripper flavour, 100% no leak design, side airflow, 32 air holes. Well, it's basically 16. Let's open it up. It's very tight inside. We'll just there we go. Out we come. Right, what have we got with it? We've got a spare glass tank. And here we have. It's a piece, one single piece of Muji cotton, which we'll be using in the build as well. Let's have a look at the accessories, what we've got with it. Right, we've got a selection of O-rings, we've got a spare top fill silicone washer, and that, if we get close up of that, that is for the single build. So if you're putting a single build into the deck rather than a dual build, that is for placing it the opposite side. Right, here we go with the tank itself. Let's have a look. Let's take it apart. Double O-ring drip tip, as you can see. It's focused. Come on, focus. There we go. Very wide bore, extremely wide bore. You're looking at 8mm there for the drip tip. Top screws off because it's top filling. There you go, 2 holes for filling up. And there's your silicone washer to keep everything nice and leak free. You've got a locking ring at the bottom, which I'll just pop off just now, and the deck pulls out. It's basically a plug and play. There you can see dual post. Now the insulators underneath the positive look very similar to Peak. It's a gold plated 510 pin, adjustable. Now we have a look at the deck. And let's have a look at the tank itself. Right, you can see it's 16 holes on each side, so 32 holes, but actually it's only one large cycloptic air hole that goes into the deck. Let's unscrew it, take it apart. There we go, comes apart nicely. The threads are really nice. So very easy to take apart for cleaning and washing. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the rifling? There's actually rifling all the way down the chimney section. That rifling is also on the drip tip as well. So it's got full rifling the whole way up to give a sort of cyclonic vape when you're inhaling. If I move my finger out of the way, there we go. You can see it, sort of the highlight just shining off the inside of the chimney. You can see the rifling. So yeah, it's very well machined. Let's all put it back together. There we go. Pop that in there. All back together, nice and snug. I mean, the threads are buttery smooth, very nice threading on this. There you go. You can see that you've got spaces to lock the deck in place. Right, we're going to have a look at this. Is the silicon and Peak section for your single deck. There we go. Pop it in like so. So you can build a single or dual coil setup on this Belus. Pops in like so. And because I'm using the flat wire, we're going to actually go ahead and do a single coil because it's 24 gauge and at 8 wraps we're going to get sort of 0.45, and I don't really want to risk a 0.22 in a tank. I'm going to go with a 0.45. Let's go for a flavour build. Just pop it onto the voltmeter, get it all set up, ready for the build. Back in a minute, guys. Okay, here we go. Right, this is Flatwire UK 24 gauge. We're going to be using this for our single coil build. Here we go. This is what it looks like. This is the 24 gauge flat wire. You can't really see very well from the camera, but actually it is flat. Try and get that in focus for you. Here we go. Can you see that? Can you just see the edge, the flat edge of the wire? As I said, I've been using this in the tugboat, and it's actually I find it very easy to use, and it works. You know, if you've got a coil master, if you've got a Kuro coiler, I've had no issues putting it in and making my coils with it. No problem at all. Here we go. Just trim some off. We're going to use a coil master here. I'm going to use I'm going to use a 2.5 millimeter coil master head. Let's just get the wire in straight. And you want to get the flat edge against, so if you just adjust it like that and get the flat edge against the coil itself, against the coil jig itself. There we go. Make sure it's in place. Get the cap, and then carefully, with making sure it's not twisting, slowly wrap it around the coil jig, ensuring that it's flat against the coil jig. There we go, like so. Push it in tight, keep going, We're wanting about 8 wraps. It'll probably work about 8.5 wraps. I'm just making sure that the coils are flat against the side of the post. There we go. Then we have one coil. Just pop it onto my screwdriver. This is a 2.5mm screwdriver as well, just so I can straighten the legs out. There we go. I want to get it nice and fitted into the deck posts. I found no issues working with the flat wire. I found it very easy. I've not used a 20 gauge yet, but I've done several builds with a 24 gauge. Okay, so get it straight in. Try and centralise it as best you can, and try and get the coil as close to the post as possible, because when you put this tank back together, there's not a lot of space for the chimney section, and the last thing you want is an earth. I really wouldn't go any larger than 2.5mm for your inner diameter. There we go. So we've got 8 wraps with 2 half wraps. You're looking at about 9. So I'm hoping to get a 0.44, 0.45. Just straighten it in position. There we go, like so. There we go, 0.43. That will fluctuate when we're heating the coil up and sort of nipping it together. That, you know, that resistance will fluctuate. Okay, let's put it on the tugboat. The batteries are a bit dead in the tugboat, so we'll pop it on here. I don't want to risk busting the legs. I'll try and get it screwed onto the tugboat. Come on. There we go. Get these legs trimmed. One good thing I've noticed about the flat wire is that when you're nipping it down, tightening your post screws up, there's less risk of snapping the wire because the wire's flat. So rather than sort of, you know, cutting the wire, it's clamping the wire down with the screws. Now let's just pulse it and let's try and get this coil heating from the inside out. Excuse the mess of my pliers. They're ancient. Just pop this in. Keep repositioning it. As I said, I want to try and get as close to the posts as possible to try and reduce the risk of any shorting once I put the tank together. There we go. Just slowly pulse it, very gently. If you go in full power, you're just going to, you know, pop the legs. Keep clamping it together. There we go. Pulse it gently. I'm just going to nip the screws up, because when you're heating the coil up on its own, the screws do tend to become loose. There we go. That's nice. Glowing from the inside out. Nice and evenly. Another little nip. Okay. As you can see, with the flat wire, it is very easy to put a build in. Very easy to put a build in. But that is a very nice deck on the Bellis. Very nice deck. Very easy to build in, excuse me. I'm just going to put the jig back in again just to straighten the coils up. There we go. Yeah, job done. Okay. Yep, I'm quite happy with that. Make sure it's nice and central. The good thing with the flat wire is that because of the surface area, you're getting really good flavour and really good vapour. There we go, guys. Job done. There we go. 0.39 resistance after heating it up and setting the coil. 0.39. So I'm happy with that. Should be a nice flavour build. That's a pretty looking coil. Right, we're going to have a look at this Muji cotton. I'm going to do a Scottish roll. So bear with me as I get this bag open. Going to do a Scottish roll and pop it into the coil. There we go. That's a nice bit of Muji that comes with the UD Bellis. I'll take the top layer, thin layer off the top. Like so. And don't worry about that piece, you can use it for other coils. Just that I'm going to do a Scottish roll with this. Now start to tease it out. Actually, I need to trim that, yeah. I'll take about 3 centimetres off. I'll get my scissors. Trim it a little bit. There we go. Now with this piece, just tease it out. You want it almost transparent. Don't tear it, just do it nice and gently. Tease it out. Like so. We'll remove this piece because it's matted. There we go. You want to have it nice and fluffy and very, very thin. We don't need all this piece, so we're going to cut it in half. There we go, just cut it in half. As you can see, we've got a very thin piece of cotton now. Slowly and gently start to roll it over on itself, building up the layers of the cotton. That's the beauty of the Scottish roll. It's all those little layers. It just soaks the e-juice in and gives such a fantastic vape. There we go, and roll it up nice and tight. I couldn't believe, when I first did the Scottish roll, I couldn't believe, because once you've rolled it, it's a solid lump of cotton, but it wicks so well. Right, screw the end up nice and tight and feed it in through the coil. There we go. Nice and tight. Now, I've never done a build in the Bellis before. This is the first ever build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drip it up before I cut it, so that I can sort of position it sort of underneath the coil, but not actually into the juice holes or the juice wells. Because apparently with the Bellis, I've heard that you don't put them into the juice wells. Here we go. We're going to have a look at Dripper exclusive. This is Jungle Rain. I received this in the Dripper box this month. So we'll just wet the coil up. Just a couple of dabs of juice, just to hold the cotton in place really, and then trim it parallel with the bottom of the deck. Like so. And again the other side, parallel with the deck. So it's not going into the juice holes, juice wells, I don't know what you call them. There we go. Right. Now fluff up the ends. Oh no. No, I've got a tail, wait there. Bear with me, I've got a little tail. There we go. Right, using a small screwdriver, just fluff up the ends of the Scottish roll wick. Push it under the coil. Just fluff them up, like so. There's lots of surface area for that juice to get pulled into the wick. I'm just trying to push it into the deck. I'm going to pop in the silicon and peak single coil adapter. Put the tank back on. There we go. Just undo it from the voltmeter. Put the locking ring back in. Air holes are all open, we're wide open. But remember, the air hole's only working on one side as the other side's blocked by that silicon. And let's fill it up with the jungle vein. There we go. And there we go. That is the Bellis by UD, coiled and filled and ready to vape. So we'll go back up. I'm going to put it on the VT200 and have a vape. Okay guys, that was a close-up and the flat wire build and the Scottish roll build of the Bellis. Yeah, it seemed easy enough. Very easy deck to build on. I love the way that it just plugs and plays. Yeah, really impressed with that. One thing I need to point out though is when you put the device, the coil in, just make sure that it's not touching the... There's not a lot of... It looks quite a large deck, but when you actually put the coil and your wick into the tank, just make sure that the coil's not touching the edges, because I did get a shot at first, but I took it out, pushed it a little bit closer to the positive and negative post, and it's working fine. So I've got it on the VT200 here. I'm rocking it at 30 watts. It's coming out at bang on 0.45. So here goes. Ooh. First impressions, very good, very good. Flavour is really good, really nice flavour. Vapor production, well, it is only single coil, remember, so vapor production, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That is a lovely setup, yep. So there it is. I'll zoom in. Zoom in. There's the Bellis, or the Bellis. Yep. Yeah, so the Bellis, $25.99 from K-Vape, UD. And yes, will I go back to the Zephyrus? Probably. I mean, I've got nickel coils from a Zephyrus, so I'll use it in temperature mode on the VT200. But this is very close to a dripper quality vape, yeah. Flavour is stunning. That was really nice, really nice. Loving that. As I said, that was the Flatwire UK 24 gauge that I used. You can basically message them on Facebook at Flatwire UK. I'll put the link in down below. I think it's Daniel Littleworth that basically he's selling this Flatwire UK. And it's, yeah, I believe that they're developing different types of wire. You've got the flat wires. I think they're doing a flap tone, whatever that is, and they've also got the polished coiling wire as well. So yeah, have a look at facebook.com and Flatwire UK and see what they've got. I do have some 20 gauge Flatwire UK as well, but I'll be using that in another review for the Buddha Z version 2, because that's probably the only device it'll fit in. But anyway, that was the UD Bellus. Am I impressed? Oh yeah, very impressed. First impressions, remember, I just got this today. $25.99. Well worth it, I think. Love the way that just plug and play, and yeah, nice. Very nice. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please share, subscribe, like. Thank you. Catch you all again soon. Thanks. Bye.